Hello everybody, this is Christopher Williams bringing you a video update for the Student Innovation Project of Dynamic Worlds. In the last video, Richard was talking about how we were doing the skill systems where we'd have different influences. Uh, some would go and affect things positively, and other spells and abilities would affect different stats negatively. When it came time to testing these abilities, we realized that we were programming in the wrong fashion. After realizing the error of our ways, we went and looked to go and see what other companies were doing, such as Epic Games with Unreal Tournament. Epic is using a component system that allows them to dynamically load things like hats, guns, different objects in and out of the game dynamically without having to take up massive amounts of memory all of the time. The decision to start with a new code base was not an easy one because we knew it was going to look like we were actually behind on our work compared to where we were a couple months ago when Richard had his final Student Innovation Project class, but it really was in the best interest of the project. With this new code base, we're actually able to have everything broken down so that way when somebody's working on one file, another person isn't locked into not being able to do any work. And we have this child parent relationship going on with most of our assets. We worked up a demo to go and show what I'm talking about. For this, all of these abilities are dynamically loaded into the action bar. The one with the little blue sword is our default melee attack, and we have these other helpers that I'll talk about a little bit later here, just linked up, and they're spawning, and they're also inheriting the abilities and the skills from the melee swing, such as a positive increase and a negative increase to the other stats that we have. The actual purpose of the components that were being spawned is to actually help with the level design. We have these component blueprints that at this one it's basically a flower and it's cycling through an array and just picking one of the meshes at random. And what we can do with that then is we can go in and have that nested inside another blueprint that will expand it even further and allow it to, say, generate X number of flowers at random from that array. It just makes life a whole lot easier for our level designers since we're such a small team. And because we can expose different values, it actually gives anyone that's going to be doing level design more control over what we're actually doing while still allowing it to be random and speed up our workflow. Here's some of the more advanced helpers that we have where it's not pulling from an array, but it's taking the static meshes that we have and kind of randomizing them up with the control that we have, so we're creating a dynamic world while using a smaller amount of assets. In this one, if you pay attention, we have little pieces that are actually rotating and spinning around so it looks differently along with the texture being dynamically generated. And again, we have values exposed so that way we can control in the editor how long we want this bridge to go. This little helper is really cool because we can go and set the placement of it, and then there's an endpoint that we can adjust and place anywhere we want in the world, and it'll automatically fill in the difference between the start and the end point. We are at a point right now where we're able to playtest our abilities, and we're able to see how the stats are affected moving up and down. We really need to fine-tune our gameplay elements and our skill elements. We really want to make sure that the increases and the decreases in our stats aren't too extreme and that the players are going to feel overwhelmed. Moving forward, we want to be able to apply a variety of these abilities to the NPCs. We really want this world to feel alive and dynamic, and it just makes sense that the NPCs will be able to have the same abilities that the players are going to be able to equip. We're also going to be looking into how much of this world we want to dynamically generate. We have the tools right now to go and dynamically generate little aspects of the world, such as these decks and the flowers, NPC skills, but we need to evaluate whether or not we want dungeons to be randomly generated, or do we want to hand design the dungeons and maybe have the NPCs inside the world dynamically generated. Say you went in and you cleared out a dungeon with a bunch of these bandits, and now a week later somebody else has moved in and has taken over that area. Going back to talking about the code, we are extremely happy with our code base. We know that we are more in line with what other people are doing with the Unreal 4 engine. If you go and look at the marketplace, you can see other people generating these same types of components to randomly generate objects inside your world, or to even help the artist create things such as stairs or cables. All of those little minor things that it takes a little bit of time, but any time you can save is greatly appreciated. And this is going to conclude my video update for Torinth Dynamic Worlds, the Student Innovation Project. If you want to know more about our classless leveling system, feel free to watch Richard's video.